Why are train fares so expensive, as fares are due to rise by 31%? And a new rail funding model is proposed, as the UK's rail network is 40% more inefficient than it is in Europe. Greenwich, London. Starting point of the climate rush protest for fair, ecological and viable rail transport. I caught up with the team at Greenwich Pier to find out more.
Hi, I'm Anne. I'm from Climate Rush. Today, hopefully about 200 or more of my friends are going to be on a train going from London to an undisclosed location where they're going to be dodging a rail fare to protest against the 31% increase in rail fares over the next 2 to 3 years. And I kind of thought the best way to dodge the fare is to not take the train off, so I've organised a bunch of people to cycle to meet our intrepid travelling friends.
Climate Rush is a small grassroots organisation that model themselves on the suffragettes and who are highlighting climate change and wanting to kind of start a change in society to cut down carbon and take environmental concerns seriously, I think.
Yes, today's going to be a great day. I'm really looking forward to our little bike ride and our little adventure. I'm tagging along. I'm impressed at the level of discipline and organisation that's already been displayed, and we're going to keep tight and have a lot of fun, I think.
We're doing it in the spirit of the railway children, so it's a bit of an adventure. We've got a map, we've got a rough idea of where we're going, but I'm sure along the way we'll just improvise and get there.
We've got about 6 hours to get there, to do about 60 odd miles, which is totally doable, and I think everyone's really excited to be here. We're certainly just criticising the inaccessibility of trains and how the government has put so much more effort into the importance of cars. Like there was just recently a tax decrease on petrol. We're protesting against that airplanes are so much cheaper than trains, and we're also trying to highlight that in the UK trains are significantly more expensive than in Europe, and this is just another example of how you can have fun with your protest.
So I haven't been before, this is my first long bike ride, so we'll see how I fare. But it's a good cause. I used to commute to work in Hampshire on the trains, and they were horrible. It used to cost me nearly £100 a month, the trains were never on time, they're getting cancelled all the time. So when I moved to London, I took my bike, and I just want to do everything I can to promote cycling.
Yeah, no, I think it should be a great day. I mean, it's a great route, it's going across North Kent, which is quite a nice area. And then, meet the guys coming down on the unfair fare dodge from London Bridge, which I think is a brilliant thing.
Well, we've got a Facebook group, so facebook.com/climaterush. We've also got a website where people can find out more information, and it's being updated, so it's going to be beautiful with lots of pictures of our actions soon. So yeah, online, Twitter, all the social media.
So we've got a rough route. We might diverge from it slightly, but we know the rough direction we're going. Several of us have ridden parts of it. We've got maps.
Guys, thanks for coming. We're trying to meet the Rushettes who are on the train at noon. They're going to Canterbury, we're going to Canterbury as well, and they're protesting against train fares, and so are we. And that's basically the sum of what today is about. Now let's get on the road.
Let's go.
And they were off on a route that would take them on a 60-mile adventure through the North Kent countryside to their destination at Canterbury. There, they would meet with the others travelling by train, but refusing to pay the fares. The only question was, would they make it in time? So why are our railways so expensive? Well, they're fragmented and inefficient, 40% less efficient to run than European counterpart railways. This inefficiency leads to higher costs for passengers. We're also catching up on decades of underinvestment. National rail investment was just 15% of that spent on road building in the 1980s. Things have definitely improved a lot since then, but at a huge cost to the passenger. Many European railways are more affordable to the passenger because they are well supported by the state. In the UK, it's currently a 50-50 split between the taxpayer and the fare-paying passenger, but the government wants to shift this to 75% fare-payer and 25% taxpayer over the next few years. This will price people off the railway and undermine efforts to tackle climate change. Aylesford in Kent, the halfway point and first stop off for the team. They arrived in high spirits, cheered on by motorists.
There's not a single noise that he can't do. My brother can make any noise you wish.
But there was some bad news.
We're gonna be late. The train will get there before us. Definitely.
Likes you, maybe.
It meant the cycling team would not be able to get to Canterbury on time to meet the other group when they arrived.
I'm feeling really good about the bike ride and everyone's doing a really great job. I'm just a bit disappointed that we're not going to make it to catch the train. That's a bit sad, but we perhaps were a bit over optimistic. So
the hills weren't too bad and didn't get lost, which is always the most important thing, and it's really lovely weather for it, not too sunny, not too cold, not too windy, so yeah, it's been really nice and haven't had any problems with any drivers really since we left London. There was only one beeper, so yeah, it was good.
I can't feel my bum. You can't feel I can't feel my bottom.
We get input of abuse from the drivers, but not too much. No. It has been very lovely.
Well, it's been almost as fun as going by train, but considerably cheaper, and I guess that's what this is all about. The sense that it's ridiculously expensive to travel by train. It's getting even more expensive, and actually it's becoming like a class-based system, with the poorest people can't afford to travel by train, forced to use cars. So if we ever want to deal with the climate change issue, then actually affordable rail is really important.
Oh, really well. As you can see, I'm covered in oil and scratches. So the bike is still in one piece. I'm in several pieces, strewn across Kent, and we're still on our way.
I guess the first bit you kind of have more energy, don't you? And I think we might have found there were more hills in that first bit, hopefully. But I know for a fact there's one quite big steep hill coming up, and then after that I think it might be kind of flat, but there's a big hill coming up, and I think that's not going to be very nice.
One of my toes, my second toe keeps going numb. I'm not moving enough, so. Toe.
It was lunchtime, and what better way to have it than with a picnic next to the river. Maps were checked to finalise the route to Canterbury. Kit Kats were at, and running repairs made to the bikes.
I quit the Mars bars, but yeah, so I can mix them to get the vodka with cherry, eh? Vodka and cherry.
That does look kind of cool.
Everyone was having a good time, but with time running very short, they had to press on. Stage 2 was underway, Aylesford to Canterbury. Where should money for investment come from? The government knows the industry's running costs are too high and have already identified potential cost savings of up to £1 billion a year in the future. In the shorter term, the government could tax fuel on domestic flights. If the tax was introduced at the same rate as motoring fuel tax, it would raise around £460 million a year. The government could also look at new sources of finance for investment. This could be private sector in new stations and pension funds that want to invest in steady but secure infrastructure. This should make it easier to attract funding from developers and others to pay for investment, rather than forcing passengers to pay ever more. The other group had made excellent progress and arrived at Canterbury ahead of the cyclists. I caught up with them at Canterbury West Station to find out the latest.
I thought it went really well. It was really fun being on the train, and I think we had a good show. And, quite a few people showed up, and it was lively, and yeah, it's good.
We had a rally at the Monument in London, and then we did the unfair fares dodge, which is where we dodged the fare from London to Canterbury by swiping in with our Oyster card rather than buying a ticket. We're doing this because the government is proposing to hike rail fares by 31% over the next 4 years. We don't think that that's the best way of encouraging people back onto the trains, and particularly if this government has aspirations to be the greenest government ever, it doesn't seem to be going about it in the right way. I think transport is a really important issue in this country. I mean, our rail service and our public transport system in general has just been massively underfunded for years. But I'm really glad that we got to meet.
The protest attracted interest from Councillor Alex Perkins of the Liberal Democrats, who showed his support.
The London to Canterbury West route is the one that's gone up by the most for like the kind of commuter fare. So yeah, we wanted to highlight that really.
Well, you're absolutely right to do so, because the other incredibly unreasonable thing is they've invested in this line to the detriment of the Canterbury East services, which means that people on that side of the city are actually finding it hard to use rail networks. What we need, of course, is proper investment in rail to get people off the roads.
Exactly.
The plans to put thousands of homes south of Canterbury where there is no transport infrastructure are ludicrous, where you've got the former Chislett Colliery, which is a brownfield site that has a former station in it, and we would like to see that opened up. We've read up in Ashford, they've actually put in 450,000 to build a new halt, when actually there's an existing halt already there. It's just about having the will. If you are willing to think about it and willing to embrace a green travel plan, then you can achieve anything. The public transport infrastructure just simply isn't good enough. So until such time as they properly invest in public transport, things won't get better.
With that, news came through that the cyclists were arriving outside the station. And almost immediately, a party kicked off. Everyone, it seemed, had a lot of fun.
It's been a great day. There's been a bit of drama with spills and potholes and lots of traffic in certain places, but it's been amazing. The weather's been great. Everyone's been really happy. We've had enough food, which is important. We just did a really important thing for Climate Rush, and all these amazing people waited for us, which is amazing as well, and I think everyone's just like super excited.
It's a nice show of a number of people who feel impassioned about this issue, because of course it is such an important issue. Good day. It's been a good day.
Well, you can go to our website, which is climaterush.co.uk, and you can sign up there to join our mailing list, or you can send us an email, info@climaterush.co.uk, if you want to get involved with our committee that kind of meets up every week and makes decisions about what we're going to do, because I think it's very important to show that the general public is kind of prepared to take action about this kind of thing.
Has it been a massive success?
Yeah, it has. Absolutely, it's been a success. Everybody feels like they've, I think, had a big achievement today on the train and on the bikes, and it's just been great.
It had been a great day and a great adventure. A lot of fun was had, and a clear message had been sent that there's a much better way to run Britain's railways. Thanks for watching. If you would like to find out more about Climate Rush, please visit their website at climaterush.co.uk.